Hey guys, it's CWillyHD here, and welcome to Game Breakers. This time we're going to look at a glitch in EarthBound that allows you to break out of the map and literally explore anywhere you want. Using stairs and proper timing, we can ignore all collision and reach anywhere on the map easily. Just a quick heads up, I will be spoiling some stuff in EarthBound like the final boss and the areas of the game, so please be aware of that. So with that out of the way, let's get into the episode. Alright, so the two main things we need to get the results are stairs and a status ailment that'll reduce a party member's HP over time when outside of battle. This can happen when getting a cold, poisoned, and sunstroke. Walking around in the overworld with one of these will repeatedly reduce your health, and when you're down to critical, which is roughly 25% of your max HP, a text box will come up and warn the player about it. This text box is what we'll be using to break out of the map. When walking onto stairs in EarthBound, a transition animation takes place. Notice how you move onto the stairs here even when you're not pressing anything? We have to time that animation with the critical health text box popping up. For this first demonstration, I'll be getting Sunstroke from Dusty Dunes Desert and then going to Summers for the stairs. Now we just have to wait for a party member's health to go down. While we're waiting, I want to talk about ways to attempt this glitch multiple times. The most simple way to restart is to heal that member by using life up or a food item. Another way is to save. Go into a nearby hotel and call your dad. Now just reset the console every time you fail. But we can take this method even farther. By using a stopwatch or something along that line, we can time how long it takes from the time that you press continue on the save file until the message pops up. If you stop the timer right as the message pops up the first time, just restart the game and this time begin walking on the stairs as it hits that time. We can obviously also just use save states on Wii U Virtual Console or emulator. So now we're actually going to do the glitch. As I mentioned earlier, all we have to do is begin walking on the stairs as this text box pops up. Closing the dialogue will cause us to break out of this animation, and the game won't place us on land nor the stairs. So now we're able to walk around out of bounds. I'd also recommend using a PSI healing so that the party member's health stops depleting. Now we're able to walk around anywhere with the party facing whichever direction we were when we clipped out of bounds. Well, not technically anywhere. The only restriction this glitch has is that you cannot walk below the spot where you clipped out of bounds. If you do, the game places you back on the stairs like normal. Even trying to go past it from far away on the map won't work. Using an image of the game, we can see what areas we can access based on where we clipped out. EarthBound is one big map with certain areas loaded at a time. Using Starman.net full map image, which I'll leave in the description, you can guide Nest to any section of the map. Start by finding where you clipped out of bounds and then pick a spot where you want to walk to, or just free roam. Even though none of the textures are loaded in, the music changes as you enter areas, so use that as a guide. When you're happy with the spot, open the menu and have Nest use the soundstone. Upon closing out of it, the textures from that area will be loaded in. Even though you can now see where you are, the collision doesn't get placed back in, so if you're not happy with your location, you can still continue walking out of bounds. If you want to reload the collision and play the game normally from a certain area, walk into a door and you'll hit the load zone and you can enter the next room with everything back to normal. Just be smart when doing this because you can get stuck in areas and not be able to progress the game. As for the boundaries of the map, if you go to the left or right off the map, you'll be looped back to the other side. If you go too high, the game freaks out and places you back on the stairs. Still kind of out of bounds, but you're only able to walk diagonal. And like I said before, going past the area where you're clipped out is impossible. Fortunately, there is a stairway that is extremely low on the map. In 3, there's a tunnel that can be accessed via a grave, which is where you get thrown into when you're unconscious. Get a status ailment and then go here to perform the glitch. This is also the earliest place in the game where you can do this glitch, as you can get a cold from the zombie when they're still here during this part of the story. Anyway, using the map I showed you, we can see here that there isn't a whole lot that we can't reach now. As a side note, I accidentally found a way to change direction and correct this glitch state. I was in the darkness and decided to try and teleport. I instantly ran into something, and when I took control of Ness again, I faced the way I pressed first. I then reloaded the graphics and tried to teleport to on it. As long as you don't run into anything like normal when trying to teleport, you can correct the game and collision. Using this glitch, we can access almost everything in the game, even places that we normally would only see in cutscenes. For example, the clouds during the Skyrunner cutscene. It's honestly amazing being able to explore the game from this way. So the obvious question I was wondering, can we just go right to the final boss and beat the game early? Besides the fact that you're extremely underleveled, the game does crash during the first prayer cutscene due to certain flags not being set when you enter the phase disorder. So we'd have to put the game in a state where Dr. Andonuts and the Broken Phase Distorter are in Saturn Valley. These two flags can be set by dropping down the hole in Lumine Hall and beating Ness's nightmare. Doing this in the most optimal way possible is basically what the EarthBound any% speedrun is. If you're interested, I'd recommend looking up some runs to see how it's done. Using this, people have beaten the game in under an hour. The best side effect that got to occur when doing this glitch is getting the robot forms out of the cave of the past and into the normal world. Normally before the final boss, Ness and his party gets transformed into robot forms to go fight Gygus. I used the out of bounds glitch to walk over to Gygus' lair, loaded the graphics, and walked out of the entrance. It transitioned back, but since we were in our human forms, the game freaked out a little and we got stuck here playing the Summers theme. I thought I soft locked the game and was going to have to reset, but I decided to try and use the soundstone one more time to see if anything would happen. Surprisingly, the game placed us back on the stairs where we clipped out and we're now in robot forms. I was honestly shocked I got anything to happen. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think this might be the first time anyone's ever been able to do this and document it. Again, I'm not positive on this, but if I was the first, that'd be awesome. Unfortunately, the effect does go away once you enter a new area, but I did find a way to carry this effect through. I clipped out of bounds, went to Gygas' lair, and walked out of the entrance like before. However, I didn't cure Pooh of his sunstroke yet. So I healed them and began waiting in hopes of being able to clip out of bounds again as the robots. Luckily, it worked the same way, and we technically could access any area by reloading the graphics. It's not the same as being able to play through the game as robots, but at least it's a start. Another interesting thing is the noises the robots make when walking. Normally they make a clunky metal noise, but the sound effects change in different areas. Since the game now thinks we're robots, can we access Gygas' lair and exit now? Well, sadly no, the game still freaks out and places you back in summers like before. So that's gonna do it for today's episode of Game Breakers. If you enjoyed, drop a like and subscribe. Huge thank you to Flugel, who posted this glitch and route on an EarthBound forum. If you're interested in more EarthBound content, I'd highly recommend my friend B2. He puts out theories and other content on the Mother series, so if you have some spare time, check him out. But for now, I'm gonna get up out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, see ya!